Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to the SmackDown review. SmackDown tonight was from the Nationwide Arena in Columbus, Ohio, and SmackDown tonight, I thought it was just a very mediocre show, in my opinion. But tonight on SmackDown, we had Bobby Lashley versus Carlito. We had Dragon Lee versus Cedric Alexandra. LA Knight was in action, and he had taken on Grayson Waller. And the main event, we had a six-women's tag team match. Damage Control. This was Bailey and Io Sky and Kairi Sane versus Bianca Belair, Charlotte Flair, and Asuka. And of course, we had SANTOS ESCOBAR turning heel tonight on Rey Mysterio. And we also got another heel turn, which I will explain, later on as I get to it. But overall, SmackDown, just a very mediocre show tonight. If you didn't watch the show, you missed absolutely nothing, in my opinion. But anyways, let's jump right into the review. Oh, and by the way, I am recording this with StreamYards. So you'll see an overlay here, with the SmackDown logo in the corner at the top left. Special thanks to Rangers of Wrestling for creating this overlay for me. So thank you for doing that. So if you guys, like me doing, recording this in StreamYard, with the overlay, let me know and I'll keep doing my reviews, like this. So let me know if you like it or not. And I put it as a virtual background here. So let me know what you all think of it. But into the review we go. SmackDown opened up tonight with Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens ended up walking down, and he ended up joining commentary tonight. And he joined Kevin Patrick and Michael Cole. So Kevin Owens took a seat at the commentary table with Michael Cole and Kevin Patrick. And the LWO ended up coming out. Rey Mysterio, Santos Escobar, Joaquin Wilde, Cruz del Toro, Zelina Vega. They made their way down to the ring. Rey got on the mic. He ended up welcoming everyone to SmackDown. And he ended up talking about losing the United States Championship to Logan Paul at Crown Jewel. Rey ended up saying that Logan Paul stole his United States Championship, but he believes that Logan Paul could not beat him if it were not for the brass knucks that were used. Rey ended up saying that he will do what it takes to get his rematch. And then Carlito ended up coming out. Carlito ended up getting to the ring, and he ended up saying that Carlito wants to talk about Crown Jewel. So Carlito ended up telling Rey that he is blaming the wrong person, and that he should blame the person who left the brass knucks on the ring apron for him. And that person is Santos Escobar. So Santos Escobar ended up getting in Carlito's face. We had Cruz del Toro and Joaquin Wilde. They ended up trying to hold Escobar back. Escobar then left the ring, and we had Rey and Zelina Vega end up following Santos Escobar because Rey was going, Santos, where are you going? Where are you going? So then Bobby Lashley's music ended up hitting, and he ended up coming out with the Street Profits, and that led to his match with Carlito, which was the first match. And pretty much that was basically that. But Carlito was the one to escort Santos Escobar out of the LWO. You could tell that, Santos is clearly on his way out of the group. So, but that was basically that. And then, of course, we have Bobby Lashley versus Carlito. Of course, the Street Profits were out there, and we had Rey, Cruz del Toro, Joaquin Wilde, Zelina Vega also out there. And this was a okay match here. Bobby Lashley and Carlito, they had their match, years ago. Watching this match took me back to around 2005, 2006-ish, with Lashley and Carlito. So the match got underway. Lashley ended up delivering a shoulder tackle onto Carlito, and Lashley ended up followed up with spears in the corner to Carlito. So it cut backstage, and we saw B-Fab and Ashante the Adonis watching the match. Remember last week, B-Fab ended up telling Bobby Lashley that, she needed to talk with him. Would not be surprised B-Fab and Ashante will join Bobby Lashley's group along with the Street Profits. So Lashley ended up delivering a neck breaker to Carlito. He ended up going for the Hurt Lock, but Carlito ended up delivering a jawbreaker to Lashley. So Carlito delivered a crossbody, which was followed up by a clothesline to Lashley. Carlito then ended up running to the ropes, but Lashley ended up delivering a right hand to Carlito. We had Lashley end up going for a vertical suplex, but Carlito landed on his feet. And so Lashley ended up hitting Carlito with a vertical suplex. So Carlito then clotheslined Lashley to the outside. So Carlito went to the outside. He ended up grabbing Lashley, but Lashley ended up throwing Carlito face first into the ring steps. Lashley then ended up throwing Carlito into the barricade, and then he ended up throwing Carlito into the ring post, and that's when SmackDown went to commercial. Then when SmackDown came back from the commercial, Carlito was in control of the match. He ended up delivering a shoulder tackle off the top rope to Lashley. And then Ashante was talking with B-Fab backstage. So then Lashley was thrown to the outside by Carlito. Carlito delivered a splash onto Lashley on the outside. Carlito then threw Lashley back to the ring. Montez Ford then ended up grabbing Carlito, but Carlito delivered a right hand onto Montez Ford. So we had Cruz del Toro, Joaquin Wilde, end up getting involved here and end up fighting off the Street Profits on the outside. So then Santos Escobar ran down, and he broke up the brawl between the Profits and, Cruz del Toro, Joaquin Wilde. So Carlito was distracted as Lashley ended up delivering a spear to him. Lashley ended up going for the cover, and they go. Bobby Lashley ended up winning the match. Post-match, the Street Profits, Montez Ford, Angelo Dawkins, end up attacking Carlito. Santos Escobar got on the ring apron, and he ended up watching the Profits attack Carlito. So Escobar didn't even help Carlito. So Rey Mysterio's music ended up hitting. He ended up running down to the ring. He had a chair in hand, and the Street Profits ended up leaving the ring. And so that's when Santos Escobar ended up coming into the ring. So Rey got into Escobar's face. Both Rey and Escobar ended up arguing. Rey then pushed Escobar, ended up telling him that they are a family. So Rey then checked up on Carlito, and that's when we got Santos Escobar attacking Rey Mysterio from behind. So Rey ended up getting to his feet. Both Rey and Escobar argued some more. Rey then slapped Escobar numerous times. Escobar then ended up falling onto the ring apron. So Rey then checked up on Escobar on the ring apron. Rey then apologized, and that led to Escobar pushing Rey into the ring post and Rey ended up falling onto the ring steps. And Rey's leg was stuck between the ring apron and the ring steps. Escobar then ended up running, and he ended up landing a drop kick onto the ring steps, which crushed Rey's leg. So Santos ended up telling Rey that he loves him. So Zelina ended up breaking it up, and Santos ended up telling Zelina that they built this together. And so Santos ended up walking away. And so there you go. That's the Santos Escobar heel turn there. Wasn't expecting this to come, quicker, tonight. I thought, this might have come at Survivor Series, but they decided to do it tonight. So, but, Santos Escobar out of the LWO, and really would like to see what they do with Santos Escobar as a heel here. Last time we saw Santos as a heel was when he was down in NXT. But overall, it was an okay match between Bobby Lashley and Carlito. And then, as SmackDown came back from the commercial, Santos Escobar was walking with a suitcase. Kathy Kelly was trying to get a word with Escobar, and she kept asking Escobar why he attacked Rey. So Escobar ended up telling Kathy Kelly that Rey had it coming. So he stormed off, and he ended up leaving the arena. And that was basically that. And then we had Bayley. Bayley ended up coming out, and she made her way down to the ring. She got on the mic, and she kept saying that since the start of Damage Control, she has had a plan for them, and the plan has always worked. She kept saying from being WWE Women's Tag Team Champions to Money in the Bank and WWE Women's Champion. Bayley ended up saying that EO has gotten wins against the top woman in the company, and Crown Jewel should have been Damage Control's best moment. She kept saying, but instead, she was left saying what when Kairi Sane returned. She kept saying that is not how Damage Control handles things. So Bayley ended up asking EO to come out and for them to discuss it. So Damage Control's music ended up hitting, and they ended up walking down to the ring. We had Io Sky, Kairi Sane, and Dakota Kai end up walking down. So Bayley ended up asking Io what Kairi Sane is doing here. Io then ended up telling Bayley that she had a plan too, and it's her era. It's Io's era. Bayley ended up saying that she is happy for her, but the last time they saw Kairi in WWE, this happened. And so it cut to a clip from July of 2020 when Bayley ended up attacking Kairi Sane. So we end up seeing that. So Bayley ended up saying that she can understand her concern about Kairi being back. So Dakota Kai began to talk. She kept saying that they did not bring Kairi in to hurt Bayley, but to make Damage Control stronger. So Dakota ended up saying that they are grateful for what Bayley has done for them, and they wanted to take the weight off of Bayley's shoulders, and it worked. And she kept saying that this should be a celebration. So Kairi Sane began to talk. She ended up telling Bayley that she respects her as a leader of Damage Control, and that she forgives her. Bayley ended up saying that she doesn't hug anymore, and that she doesn't do that. So the fans end up chanting, "Hug it out." So Damage Control end up all hugging. So we had Bayley, Kairi Sane, Io Sky, and Dakota Kai. They end up hugging. And so that led to Bianca Belair's music end up hitting. Bianca Belair came out. She got on the mic. She ended up telling them that Kairi might forgive Bayley. but she doesn't forgive Damage Control. Bianca ended up saying that her mistake was that she thought Io had enough confidence to face her one-on-one. She ended up saying that she learns from her mistakes, and tonight she will just have to beat them all up. So Bayley then laughed in the ring. She ended up telling Bianca that no one likes a sore loser. So Bianca ended up saying that no one likes Damage Control. And then Charlotte Flair's music ended up hitting. And out came Charlotte. She's standing next to Bianca. Of course, we had the fans woo in. So Bianca ended up telling Damage Control to guess who else was angry about Kyrie joining Damage Control. So Asuka's music ended up hitting. Out came Asuka. Asuka began to speak in Japanese, the whole. She ended up saying that no one is ready for Asuka. And so pretty much that was basically that. But this was cringe. This whole segment was absolute cringe. But unfortunately, Damage Control, will break up, at some point. And this is a okay start, for the breakup of Damage Control, whenever that will happen. And then we have Cedric Alexander versus Dragon Lee. And I thought this was going to be a quick match here. Dragon Lee just pinned Cedric Alexander in like 3 minutes. But it went on long. But it was a decent match here. So the match got underway. Cedric Alexander delivered a right hand to Dragon Lee, which was followed up by a drop kick. Cedric Alexander ended up going for the cover, and Dragon Lee ended up kicking out. Cedric then ended up throwing Dragon Lee onto the ring apron, but Dragon Lee delivered a kick to Cedric's face. Dragon Lee then jumped into the ring, and he ended up landing a Hurricanrana to Cedric Alexander. And Cedric ended up falling to the outside of the ring. Dragon Lee then delivered a senton over the top rope onto Cedric. Dragon Lee then ended up throwing Cedric back into the ring. He ended up delivering a sit-down powerbomb to Cedric Alexander. So Dragon Lee ended up going for the cover, and Cedric Alexander ended up kicking out. We got a "This is awesome" chant from the fans here. Dragon Lee ended up running towards Cedric Alexander, but Cedric ended up ducking. He ended up throwing Dragon Lee in the air, and he landed neck and back first into the corner, Dragon Lee. Cedric then delivered a right hand, and Dragon Lee came back and delivered a right hand to Cedric. So we had Cedric Alexander end up running to the ropes, but Dragon Lee ended up landing a release German suplex to Cedric Alexander. Dragon Lee then ran towards Cedric, but Cedric ended up delivering a modified Dragonfly to Dragon Lee. Cedric ended up going for the cover, and Dragon Lee ended up kicking out. We had Cedric end up running towards Dragon Lee, but Dragon Lee delivered a kick to Cedric's face. Dragon Lee then ran towards Cedric, but Cedric delivered the Michinoku driver to Dragon Lee. He ended up going for the cover, and Dragon Lee ended up kicking out. Cedric ended up going for the lumbar check, but Dragon Lee reversed that into a cover, and Cedric ended up kicking out. Dragon Lee then delivered a spinning reverse neckbreaker to Cedric Alexander. He ended up going for the cover, and there you go. Dragon Lee ended up winning the match. Overall, this was a decent match. The fans were into the match here. Both Dragon Lee and Cedric Alexander, they're very talented, and they delivered a decent match here. And then, as SmackDown came back from the commercial, we had LA Knight end up coming out. He got a big ovation there in Columbus. Knight got on the mic. He kept saying that Crown Jewel did not go exactly as he hoped for, and he can come out and say he is sorry. He kept saying that he fell short and he didn't live up to the expectations. So the fans were chanting, "Yes, you did," tonight. Knight ended up telling the fans that he won't say that because he would be a liar. He kept saying that he did what he said he was going to do. He kept saying that he took Roman Reigns to an inch of that WWE Championship, and he had him for the 1, 2, 3. If it wasn't for Jimmy Uso. So Knight ended up saying that he got robbed. And he ended up telling Roman to give Jimmy a raise, a promotion. The pleasure he can give him anyway. He can, because the bottom line is, if he was not there, he would be looking at a new WWE champion. He kept saying that a lot of people might think it's back to the drawing board and back of the line. To which Knight was like, nah. He kept saying that he is not done with the bloodline. He kept saying that the bloodline is not done with him until he owns Roman Reigns and he owns the WWE Championship. So that led to Grayson Waller coming out. Grayson Waller got on the mic. So Grayson Waller ended up telling Knight that he is blaming everyone but himself and that he needs some honesty because the truth is that everyone knows it. Maybe he is just not the guy. So Grayson Waller ended up saying he knows someone who is the guy. And LA Knight called Grayson Waller a kangaroo jackass. So Waller then ended up calling Knight a comedian. He ended up asking Knight if he really thinks that he belongs in the ring with Roman Reigns. So Knight looked at the crowd. The fans were chanting, "Yeah." So Knight ended up asking the fans if the Grayson Waller effect sounds like an STD. So Knight ended up saying that Waller got dropped by a Saudi movie star at Crown Jewel, which I did see that segment, and what an awful, awful segment that was at Crown Jewel. What a waste of time it was. So he ended up saying that Grayson Waller is out here asking if he belongs in the ring with Roman Reigns. So Knight ended up saying that when he looks at Waller, he sees a child who looks like he is about to take his school pictures. He ended up saying, and talking about school, he looks like he is not allowed 50 yards of a school. So Knight ended up saying to Waller to be serious. And Waller got himself in a lot of hot water because he got himself a match with him because he wanted to play a game with him. So Knight ended up saying to Waller, you can take the boy out of the mom's basement, but you can't take the basement out of the boy. So we had LA Knight end up hitting Grayson Waller with the mic, and Waller ended up falling to the outside of the ring. And pretty much that was basically that. But overall, this was a decent segment, with LA Knight here, and Grayson Waller coming out there. And then we had LA Knight versus Grayson Waller as SmackDown came back from the commercial. And this was just a meh match, in my opinion. Match got underway. Knight delivered a clothesline to Grayson Waller, which was followed up by a suplex. Knight ended up going for the cover, and Waller kicked out. Knight then threw Waller to the ropes, but Waller ended up rolling to the outside of the ring. So Waller ended up dragging Knight to the outside, and Knight delivered a right hand to Waller. Knight ended up throwing Waller face first into the ring apron. Knight then threw Waller back in the ring, and he ended up going for the cover, and Waller kicked out. Knight then delivered a swinging neck breaker to Waller. So Knight ended up going for the cover. Waller kicked out. Knight then delivered a right hand to Waller, but Waller delivered a right hand back to Knight. Waller ended up going for a right hand, and Knight delivered a right hand back to Waller. Waller then ended up running towards Knight, but Knight ended up throwing Waller to the outside of the ring. Knight then ended up slamming Waller face first into the commentary table. Knight ended up getting back into the ring to break up the count, and he went back to the outside to focus on Waller. Waller then ended up tripping Knight face first into the commentary table, and then Waller then threw Knight into the ring steps, and then Waller delivered a clothesline to Knight. So then SmackDown went to commercial, and as SmackDown came back from the commercial, LA Knight was on the ring apron. Waller ended up throwing Knight's shoulder first into the ring post. Waller ended up going for the cover, and Knight ended up kicking out. Waller then locked in a half crab on Knight in the middle of the ring. Waller ended up letting go of the half crab, and he started stomping away on Knight. Waller then climbed the second rope, and he walked across it. He ended up landing an elbow drop to Knight. He ended up going for the cover, and Knight ended up kicking out. Waller once more climbed the second rope. He ended up going for the elbow to Knight, but Knight moved out of the way. Waller then ran toward Knight, but he lowered the top rope, and Waller went to the outside. Waller then ended up running to the ring, and Knight delivered a back suplex to Waller. Knight then delivered a right hand, and he ended up throwing Waller into the ropes, and Knight delivered a right hand to Waller. Knight then ended up delivering a Russian leg sweep, which was followed up by a DDT to Waller. Knight ended up going for the cover, and Waller ended up kicking out. You had Waller end up running to the ropes. Knight ended up hitting him with a body slam. Knight ended up running toward the ropes. He ended up hitting Waller with the jumping elbow, while the fans, did L.A. Knight, yeah, and then he dropped the elbow. So Knight then ended up hitting Waller with the blunt force trauma, the BFT. Knight ended up going for the cover, and there you go. LA Knight ended up winning the match. Overall, just a very meh match it was. And then as SmackDown came back from the commercial, we had Austin Theory and Grayson Waller end up walking down. And they walked down to Kevin Owens because Kevin Owens was making fun of Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. Like they did like the stupid, football coaching thing where they circle and they put lines, on the screen. I was like, do we really need this? Do we really need to see, stupid football, things with the circle and, the lines? Do we really need that? So Theory ended up pushing Kevin Owens. So Michael Cole ended up telling Kevin Owens not to get suspended because, he's on commentary for the night. So Waller then poured water onto Kevin Owens. So Waller ended up laughing, and he threw the empty bottle of water onto Kevin Patrick. So Theory and Waller end up laughing. They walked away. Kevin Owens put his headset on, and he ended up saying that he can accept getting pushed and having water poured on him. But he can't accept Waller throwing a water bottle onto Kevin Patrick. So Kevin Owens was like, Michael Cole, I'm going to get suspended, which made me laugh. So Owens got up from the commentary table. He ran after Waller and Theory, and Owens ended up attacking Waller and Theory from behind. Owens ended up throwing Theory into the ring, and he ended up going for the stunner, but Theory rolled to the outside. Waller then got into the ring, and Kevin Owens ended up hitting Waller with the stunner, and that was basically that. But without a doubt, possibly Kevin Owens is going to be suspended, from this, because Kevin Owens was like, oh, well, I'm going to go get suspended. It's all up to Nick Aldis, what he wants to do with Kevin Owens after this happened. And then we had Jimmy Uso. Jimmy Uso cut a promo backstage. He ended up saying that if LA Knight wants him next week, he has him. So Jimmy got a call from Roman, and Jimmy was looking all nervous. Jimmy ended up hanging up, and he looked at the camera, And that was basically that. So there you go. Next week, we're going to have Jimmy Uso versus LA Knight. So that should be a good match there. Main event, Damage Control, Bayley, Kairi Sane, and Io Sky versus Bianca Belair, Charlotte Flair, and Asuka. This was a 6-women's tag team match, and this was just meh, in my opinion. This was not good, but the main spot in this match was Asuka, and it was a spot where Bianca tried to tag Asuka, and Asuka pulled her arm, and Asuka ended up spitting the blue mist at Bianca. Asuka got into the ring. She ended up hitting Bianca with a kick to the side of her head. Asuka looked at Kairi Sane, and Asuka and Kairi Sane ended up hugging in the middle of the ring. Of course, Asuka and Kairi Sane, remember, they were known as the Kabuki Warriors. So Io got into the ring, and they ended up hugging. Bayley then joined them in the ring, and they hugged. Charlotte got into the ring, attacked them, and we had Damage Control ended up attacking Charlotte. The ref ended up calling for the bell, so the match ended in a no contest. So Damage Control and Asuka ended up attacking Charlotte, post-match. Shotzi ran down, and Shotzi ended up attacking Bayley. But Damage Control then ended up going after Shotzi. Bianca ended up getting in the ring. She ended up trying to fight back, but Damage Control ended up attacking Bianca. And then Kairi Sane went up to the top. Kairi Sane delivered the insane elbow onto Bianca. And then we had Damage Control end up standing tall as SmackDown went off the air. And this is all set up for Women's War Games. And we have, Damage Control there. We have, Bayley, and we have Asuka and Kairi Sane and Io Sky. Possibly, maybe, the best women's, in War Games here. But overall, SmackDown was a mediocre show tonight, in my opinion. But anyways, that's it for the SmackDown review. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this review. Definitely give the video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe. So until then, I'll see you all later.